7th position. All that work, Joe, kind of just went out the window.
And, of course, Greg Ives, the crew chief's there. Let's get more information on that situation. Alex Hayden's on it.
Well, he was in the top 10. The strategy was working out, but fighting for all the positions and the scrapping going on the racetrack, some way, somehow, one of the belts, he runs the 6-point harness, one of the belts came undone. But under pressure, this veteran driver in Jeff Gordon simply diagnosed which belt it was able to continue to steer the car, even though he got out of the throttle just to make sure he wasn't in the middle of a hornet's nest on the track. He was able to get the belt locked back and secure and pulled tight again. But, well, Jeff Striegel, you were right. All that work to get inside the top 10 has been thrown out the window.
When you take a look at the top 10 right now, Alex Hayden, you find 5 drivers that have gone to victory lane before, chase eligible, and 5 that have not. Let's just kind of take a look at some of those drivers, Joe. Kyle Larson trying to win for the first time in his career. Right now he is leading, a 4-time winner this season. Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, we've talked about them all day, all weekend, a part of Richard Childress Racing. They have been so strong. Right now they are 3rd, and they are running in front of the other 4-time winner. That would be Brad Keselowski, then Carl Edwards, who's just been solid today. He's got a win to his credit, and right now Carl runs in the 5th position.
Ryan Newman sitting there in the 6th spot, winless so far this year. Doubts about his future at Richard Childress Racing, trying to get things turned around, lock himself into the chase. Denny Hamlin comfortably in the chase, but not a whole lot to his credit since winning the biggest race of the year at Daytona to start off the season. He's now in the 7th spot. Denny, by the way, has won a lot here at this racetrack, but not since the repave. 4 victories here, all coming before they repaved Pocono Raceway. Then you come down to Kevin Harvick, always a threat to win. A.J. Allmendinger, who's been on a tremendous slide as of late. Bad luck for that team. They look good right now. And then, how about Casey Kane, the guy who struggled the most for Hendrick Motorsports? He has become the shining light for that organization at this point today.
When we wrap up here, we have 5 races until we start racing for a championship. And like Pocono, those 5 racetracks completely different from one another. We head out of here and head right straight to Watkins Glen, New York, the road course there. Then it's the half-mile short track, the Bristol Motor Speedway. Then the high-speed 2-mile oval at the Michigan International Raceway. Then Darlington, that 1.3-mile, oddly egg-shaped oval, Joe, before we wrap things up in regular season on the 3/4-mile Richmond International Raceway. Some drivers like Kyle Larson just trying to do anything and everything they can to take that car to victory lane and move on and race for a championship.
And speaking of next week at Watkins Glen, here's a rundown of what you'll be hearing from the Glen next week. Pole qualifying on Motor Racing Network next Saturday at 12 noon. The Zippo 200 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's at Watkins Glen next Saturday at 1:30 Eastern. And then the Cheese at 3:55 at the Glen. A week from yesterday, hard to remember that. We are on Monday morning. That's at 1:30 Eastern on Sunday afternoon. And remember, the Glen has changed. New pavement just put down. Many teams tested there last week. Got a little feel for it. Brad Keselowski probably not real happy. He had a little problem there on the new asphalt, but that's going to change the whole complexion of that race.
Ticket sales are up, but they still have tickets available, and you should get yours because it is exciting and beautiful at the Glen. All right, we're going to take you around the racetrack like we did way back on lap number 40. We're now working lap 118, bringing in Dave Moody, Mike Bagley, Kyle Rickey. We're down to the final 42 laps. The 42 is out front. That is Kyle Larson, who is now leading over Austin Dillon, who just got by Kyle Busch. We have seen this movie play out before, Dave. What have you seen? What do you expect to see as we wrap this thing up?
Well, I got to tell you, Jeff, there's no doubt in my mind that the fastest car on the racetrack now belongs to Austin Dillon. That American Ethanol Chevrolet really carrying the mail. He made his way past Kyle Busch with relative ease, has pulled away from him, and now has the crosshairs on the leader once again, a leader with whom he's already had a bit of history here this afternoon.
Let's go over to the tunnel turn and Mike Bagley. What do you think we're going to see? Another battle between Kyle and Austin?
I think so, Joe. I think we're going to see some fireworks, but I also think that we're going to see Austin Dillon prevail in this battle. The longer we go in a run, the stronger his car gets. He's been able to close in on the back bumper of Kyle Larson. The question is, can he get around him? But there's no doubt those two are the class of the field, and we're about to have a replay, I think, of what we got just prior to halfway. between Kyle Larson and Austin Dillon. Keep your eyes on that American Ethanol Chevrolet.
When they got together, they did so over in front of you, Kyle Rickey.
And we'll see if it happens again here in just a moment. It's the same story as we had earlier in this race when we're talking about drivers looking for their first win of the season, trying to clinch their way into the chase for the championship, which starts in just a few races from now. Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon on that list. They are the class of the field, and right now within a car length, battling for the top spot. Yep.
Dillon sneaks up once again on the rear deck of Kyle Larson, close as he's been in the last few laps. And as before the situation, Dave, was Joey Logano looking to close in. Now it's Kyle Busch sitting there in third.
Kyle would like to be the third man in that battle for the lead, and Brad Keselowski's another only 5 car lengths back as well. But as he did last time, Austin Dillon pounding the tire tracks of Larson, trying to force a mistake.
These drivers racing for the lead. These leaders now coming to the entrance of the tunnel turn. And again, Austin Dillon cutting Larson no slack. He is there. He's about a half a car length off the back bumper. Larson hooks the apron. Austin Dillon slides it wide off the tunnel turn.
And it may have benefited him just a bit off of turn number 2 for Kyle Larson, able to break away by about 2.5 car lengths from Austin Dillon in second. Those two have legged it out about 5 car lengths from Kyle Busch in third, and Brad Keselowski in fourth.
Yeah, there's probably 10 car lengths that separate first Kyle Larson from fourth Brad Keselowski. If you think Kyle was tough to pass last time by Austin Dillon, I got to believe it'll even be tougher this time, Dave.
Well, the later you get, the higher the stakes. Although we thought at the time, Jeff, that the next couple of laps would determine who was going to win this race. They are hard at it again. Dillon right up under the rear spoiler of Larson.
If both drivers are at max capacity, these cars are evenly matched at this stage of the race, although Austin continues to give Larson the good look. Put the separation at about a half a car length. Kyle Busch trails them by 5 car lengths off 2.
Kyle Larson so strong off of turn number 2. He opened it up a couple of car lengths last time by and does the same this time. Make it 4 car lengths this time through turn 3 between race leader Kyle Larson and second place running Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon employing the old theory of if you can't pass him, worry him to death. And that's what he's trying to do to Kyle Larson. As we see Brad Keselowski off the racetrack, he's in for might be his final stop.
Final stop, scheduled stop, lap 121 for Brad Keselowski. Going to be a chassis adjustment.